This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Good morning, Ira. How you doing, my man? You hanging in there?
I'm doing good. For everything with the lighting in this hotel room, for some reason I look like a Martian, so I apologize for that. But I don't know. Maybe the heat needs some otherworldly help, so I guess we'll just go in that direction. Yeah, I'm gonna let you talk a lot on today's Accurate Pembroke Pines report because answers in short supply, sort of like players.
It's not that, Ira. You're not supposed to have any answers.
Thank you.
Spo can do only so much.
Right.
It's just the standard of player is not what it used to be here in this franchise for many years.
Disagree.
And I get it. You're trying to find and unearth the diamond in the rough, and let me get this coal and polish it up as much as possible. And it's a great lesson because for the idiots that used to complain all the time about Pat Riley. Oh, well, Pat Riley just, goes trades for stars. Well, there's a reason why he's trading for the stars, bro. You see the banners that are hanging up there because they used to take you to 55 and 60 and 63 wins in a season, and they'd set you up for home court advantage.
He did that this year, but he did that. You know what, Big O? At least he tried. Because Terry Rozier might not be an A-level star, but he knew what he needed. So Pat Riley went all in, gave up an unprotected future first-round pick, if the way the draft goes is wants. So when you saw the Heat yesterday, you weren't saying Jimmy Butler. Look, at least a star, if not a superstar. You'd agree with that about Jimmy Butler, that he's at least a star.
You know what? I'm done with him anymore. No, he's no longer a star anymore.
He's not even a star? You've downgraded him further in the Big O ranking?
I have, because now he's done it 2 years in a row. If you cannot help me in the regular season,
I don't know. What about the playoffs last year, Big O?
I get that because you got lucky. Giannis got injured, and you got a break, and you got every break in the book, and you got to the finals. You got lucky, and you tried to pull the same bullshit again this year. But if you cannot carry me during the regular season and make me a top 4 seed and play in the playoffs, you're not a star. If you're only waiting for the playoffs, then you're kind of a broken down star. And guess what? The broken down star broke down and couldn't help me. So I can no longer call you a star if you can't carry me in the regular season.
Look, if that's your standard, then I'm fine with that. But what I'm saying is, when we looked at Sunday's game, without Jimmy and without Terry, there was almost no shot creation. And something really interesting happened, and I noted this at the Sun Sentinel. All of a sudden, Jrue Holiday was free to guard Tyler Hero. Because if Jimmy was there, Jrue Holiday would have been on him. When Jimmy went out, Jrue Holiday would have been on Terry Rozier. All of a sudden, Tyler Hero, who I put as sort of a B-list star, got the A-list defensive treatment with a guy like Jrue Holiday. It's like, hello, Tyler, welcome to being the leading man. You wanted this. That's what life is like. Now you have to adjust to that. That's the difference. I give Pat Riley and Andy Ellisberg credit because they did try to augment. They went all in on Terry Rozier. And when he was available and when he was playing, he was very good. The game against Cleveland and what he did. His scoring. Exactly. Eric Spoelstra always talks about a guy. Yes. Totally agree. Eric Spoelstra talks about a guy who can end other team surges. So maybe if Terry Rozier was there, instead of it being 10-0, 12-0, or 14-0 at the start of the game, Terry would have made his own offense and ended that start a little earlier. What the Heat have on the court now is, you say to yourself, do they have the best player? No, that's Jason Tatum. Do they have the second best player? I'm going to say no, it's Kristaps Porzingis. All of a sudden, you're debating, do you have the third best player? No. And they also have Jaylen Brown and Derek White. That is a hell of a roster. As a matter of fact, I would take it even further, Big O. I believe, I'm not saying that they're the best team necessarily. That's the best roster in the playoffs right now when it comes to elite level talent, what the Celtics have put together, what Brad Stevens has done. And you know what? That's why I will agree with you on the rare time here on the Accurate Pembroke Pines report. That's why you had to avoid this matchup in the first round. Who knows? By the second, by the third, Tatum gets hurt like he did in Game 7 last year. A player goes down. Instead, you fell into the trap. The trap door opened. You fell through. Are they going to win one game? Am I going to be talking to you before another Heat playoff game this season? I don't know. Thankfully, Game 4 is not till next Monday, so we will. Yeah, but this does not look good, Big O.
No, it doesn't. And by the way, karma's the one that bit you in the ass. You didn't want to take the regular season serious? Fine. Now you ended up in the play-in and you ended up injured. You could have ended up relaxing the whole week, waiting for the play-in games, but you didn't try. And so karma bit you right in the ass. So unfortunately, the Heat and Jimmy Butler got what they deserved, because this is what happens because you put yourself at risk. You're an injury-prone player. Why do you need to play extra games? And this is what you did, dude. Why?
Yes, and you could have gotten a week off. And you know what, Big O? Let's look at every other team in the East playoffs. The Knicks showed their flaws against the Sixers. We saw that. Yeah. The Bucks, for all that they did in the first half, let the Pacers come back. The Pacers, we know, don't play great defense.
Halliburton shows up, then that's a different game.
Right, you got 35-point Lillard in the first half, 0-point Lillard in the second half. So again, flawed teams. The Magic can't score, a flawed team. The Cavaliers just glad to be there, a flawed team. I would actually put it this way: if the Heat were playing any other team, even without Jimmy, they could at least be competitive. Instead, we saw what we saw Sunday here at TD Garden.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying that if you want to be a star, you got to carry your team during the regular season, also, bro. It just can't be where I'm going to hang out, do commercials, go buy coffee beans, and then I'll show up in the playoffs and, oh no, don't worry about playing. Oh yeah, no, yeah, we always make it harder on ourselves. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, Jimmy. Making it hard on yourself. Yeah, that's really good, bro. In life, make it hard on yourself when you can make it a lot easier. Way to go, Jimmy. I mean, that fucking logic is absolutely amazing. So that's the part I just don't get, to be quite honest. And there's no fix because the Heat
is a fix. There is a fix, but it's not the fix that Big O and Heat Nation want.
How is Riley going to get Butler to play in the regular season?
No. There's no fix for that. Jimmy is who Jimmy is. Jimmy is who he was in Chicago, who he was in Minnesota, who he was in Philly. He is who he is, and you start from there. The fix is this, and it's hard, Heat Nation. The fix is to say, take a step back, which is hard. Not a step all the way back. We're not going Marlins here or something like that. 2 of the Heat's next 4 first-round picks are outgoing. So you can't tank because there's no benefit. But you can take a step back and say, okay, Bam and Tyler, fine. You're not A-list stars. Maybe you'll grow into it. Okay, Jaime and Nikola, you'll grow into players, and we will watch a team grow. Big O, this is the thing.
That was my positive yesterday. I love they played fearless. They played aggressive. They weren't afraid to make mistakes. They were attacking. I fucking love.
You can have a team grow also. This is what the Marlins never allowed when they got a Miguel Cabrera, and instead of letting him grow with the team and all those younger players they had, they just moved off of them. Beckett, whoever you want to talk about in that situation. The Heat can be that team. They can grow with players. Look, you don't know what player is at Tatum or Jaylen Brown until they prove they can be. Jaime Jaquez had an awful start last night, but he came around. It shows the grit that the kid has. Nikola Jovic, and you hear this around the NBA, does things that are unique to a 6'10 player. We saw moments of flash yesterday. He no longer is lost. Tyler Hero, as a B-list star, can still work as long as he's not your leading man. Bam Adebayo was the only player who showed up offensively who said, hey, if you're not doubling me, finally what the Big O wants. I am going to be aggressive and take 18 shots, and F it. I'm going to be the leading man. You have pieces in place, not to jump to a championship, not to get back to the Eastern Conference Finals 3 times in 4 years.
Guys,
but you can grow on it. And every season when we do our accurate Pembroke Pines season-ending report, Big O can go, Ira, I like the growth from this team. There's something to be said for that also. We saw the Panthers grow up into what they are by guys developing, by the Montours and other guys coming along and becoming better players. I think we can see that with the Heat. If that's what they want to do, if that's what Pat Riley, God bless him, at his age wants to do, and if Eric Spoelstra, with his extension, has the patience for that.
Okay, look, you and I have had this conversation before. I don't mind rebuilding. I actually like rebuilding. I like actually reconstructing a team again. I don't mind going through the tough moments of that. Why? You've already spoiled me for a quarter century with all the winning and titles and shit. So I'm good with that.
You're the outlier. You're the outlier if you look at Twitter. That's the problem.
Because
you're the outlier.
Because I'm the macro guy.
Okay.
I'm the macro guy. I'm not the micro guy. I see what is micro. Micro's not getting us anywhere. So I'd rather you go macro and let's focus on Jovic and let's
I love
focus
it.
on Marquez
I
and
love
let's
it.
focus on the young guys that you have, with the Adonis guy. What's his name? The other guy. And
Alondes Williams, you got Cole Swider, who might become Duncan Robinson 2.0. You have Jamal Cain.
And I want Duncan on my team now forever. And I want Bam on my team forever because I know what Bam is. What I want to do.
Haywood Highsmith. Don't leave out Haywood. Nice
Exactly.
young player. Yeah.
What I want to do over the next couple of years is try to, like I've told you before, I need to get out of the Butler contract over the next 2 years. I need to try to move away from Tyler as much as I can. Maybe try to develop him next year to make him enticing so I don't have to give away a pick to give him away. And then that way I can now get fluid and get liquid. And then I can go buy a star that I can then team up with the guys I've developed in Jovic and Jaquez. Okay, do I have to take a step back or two? Am I going to be a fringe playoff team? I can live with that, dude. You've already given me a ton of titles. I don't have to worry. I'd rather you try to build something that can actually win it than make Eric Spoelstra be this incredible chef every freaking moment of every year because he doesn't really have the ingredients because you're not giving him any stars.
Well, you know what, Big O? I would take the Big O plan. I would make one subtle change. Okay. I think if I can move Tyler Hero back to his sixth-man role, that can be fine also. Because we saw at the start of last night's game, Boston's leading man couldn't wait to get Tyler on the switch. Like, oh boy, here we go. But you've seen this. The Jamal Crawfords, the Lou Williams, over their careers have been fine as six men, have been contributors. Look, I know it sounds like a lot. Oh my God, Tyler's making $30 million a year. You know what? That's what some six men make in this league, and you move on. You can make that workable. You can start Jaime Jaquez Jr. instead. You can develop him. You have a first-round pick this year. It's going to be number 15. You can make things work as long as there's patience. And Big O, it's fine what you're saying here in our Accurate Pembroke Pines report, but you know what social media is like. You know what Twitter's like. So let me ask you this, Big O.
But people that listen to this show know that I don't play the micro game. I play the macro game.
And that's fine. So if the Miami Heat go from 46-36 this season back to 44 wins, but players develop, are you okay with that?
I'm fine with that. I have no problem with that. You know what I have a problem with is what you and I constantly have. When you sell me, oh no, Bam's a star. No, he's not, dude. He's a solid player. I love Bam, but I love him in the 3 role. I don't love him in the 1-2 role. I'm sorry. He's just not that guy. You're selling me Tyler. Bro, you know, he's not that guy. Come on. You know what? I'm watching Jaquez yesterday. He's already stronger than your average rookie because he was
older, right? 4-year player.
Wait till they get him this offseason and they make him even stronger. And those plays inside the paint, oh my God, it's gonna be so much easier for him to get spacing. He's gonna be able to separate himself from people. He doesn't have the strength he needs yet. He still doesn't have the NBA veteran strength yet. That he has the savvy, he has the aggressiveness, he has all that. When he picks up the experience and the strength, oh shit, dude. I think Jaquez and Jovic, another guy that has to build up the strength and the experience. Once they know the nuances of the league and the players and the defenses and the coaches they're facing and all that kind of shit. Wow, dude. I can't wait to watch those two because they have the dog in them. And you can't coach that.
No, I love a young, fun team. I love stories I can write that aren't the same thing. Is Jimmy playing today? Is Jimmy not playing today? I'm with you. This has become a tired team to cover to a degree because it's the same story over and over and over. So from my perspective, I'm all in with that. I just have to deal with the fans who have to give me clicks, just like you have to get your views. It's part of what we do also. Jimmy Butler, when he takes you deeper in the playoffs, you have more interest. You know what it was like last year, Big O. I mean, obviously, you and I in 2 weeks, our Accurate Pembroke Pines Miami Heat draft report is going to start, and we're going to go in that direction. So it is different. But if there's a patience, and you can step back after the season and go, Ira, I didn't think the Heat's number 18 pick ever could be this good. Ira, I didn't think that skinny beanpole out of Serbia 2 years in could be a starter or even a contributor. Ira, I like seeing what the young players in this team are doing. Wow, I love Caleb Martin, but I'm going to keep me some Haywood Highsmith instead because I find him more versatile and certainly find him more cost effective. So
And durable.
you can make it work. You know, you can find players, whether it's Edie from Purdue, who might last to the Heat's 15 pick and get that big body alongside Bam. You can do fun things. Are fun things enough for you, Heat Nation?
And by the way, I get that in our media world, we have to be sensationalistic. I mean, I don't necessarily do that, but a lot of people do in order to
create interest, right?
The Scalabrini stuff, bro. Come on, dude. Come on. Caleb Martin is not a dirty player.
It's all entertainment. People, before anything, and a matter of fact, if you can even, roll the video.
That was just a young, overzealous player making an aggressive play, and it was a dumb play on his part. That's all it was.
I'm going to take it a step further. If you get a chance, please look at the video. Jrue Holiday shoved Caleb Martin into the play. So if anyone gets a chance, or you get a chance later on your show to show the video, if you look at the video, Jrue Holiday shoved him into there. So I guess what Scal means is, wow, that was a really stupid play by Jrue because it could have got our star player hurt because he shoved, But again, it's your constituency. Brian Scalabrini's day job is NBC Sports Boston. He's going to take that perspective. I have no issue with that. We have our own people down here who take the other side all the time. I understand. I get all of that also. It's theater, and I have no trouble with the theater. But that play, if it was a dirty play, was a dirty play by Jrue Holiday, not Caleb Martin. Not because I'm a homer, because it's common sense. But you know what? Big O, I think you'll agree with this. Brian Scalabrine is very good at what he does. He's interesting. He's funny. He knows the game. He's going to have a moment. You take it for that.
He's just wrong here. And especially if you've been around Caleb Martin. That's all you got to know. It's like, and plus, Spo doesn't send torpedoes at people. He doesn't have hit men or anything like dude, look who you're talking about. You're talking about the Heat organization. You're talking about Eric. Caleb Martin's a cool dude.
Right.
And
if it was Udonis Haslem, it would have been self-ordered by Udonis because he did. We remember the Dwight Howard moments like that, moments against the Pacers when Tyler Hansborough had to be put in his place. That's not Caleb Martin. Yes.
Pittman, right on the forearm shiver on Pittman on the guard for Boston. Remember? The big man. You remember the big man that came off the bench, Pittman?
Don't necessarily remember, but I remember Dexter Pittman getting himself suspended. That I do remember.
Yeah, Dexter Pittman. He hit the guy from the Celtics, the 4-star in their championship.
Rajon Rondo? Okay.
Yeah, he clotheslined Rondo in that game, and then he got suspended. Right. But you think
this is all theater. Even Scalabrine was wrong when he said Eric Spoelstra called timeout with 90 seconds to go to set up a hitman. No, he was challenging a foul because the one thing Eric Spoelstra does is he will coach a game to the finish. He will still create teachable moments. That's what he tried to do with the late rally.
Yeah, I'm with you there. All right, so what's the adjustment, if there's any?
Big O, we can do this, and we can play the pretend game of you should shoot more threes. You've got to guard the Celtic in the circle. If you don't have Jimmy Butler and you don't have Terry Rozier, you're going into this game almost as if you're the Detroit Pistons or the Charlotte Hornets. You're simply undermanned.
And Duncan's still not himself.
No, you can tell. Duncan Robinson being listed to 12 and 14 minutes, limited to 12 and 14 his first game back, tells you, like Eric Spoelstra told us before the game, there might not necessarily be a minutes restriction, but you can see it with your eyes what a player is capable of, what he's not capable of. My point with Jimmy is this. You take away the leading man of almost any other playoff team, and they're not there. You take away Jalen Brunson from the New York Knicks. You take away Banchero. You take away Donovan Mitchell from Cleveland, for example. You take away Halliburton. You take away Jokic from the great Denver Nuggets. You're not the same player. Yes, the Clippers survive without Kawhi. They have Paul George and they have James Harden also. But most teams, you lose your leading men, you're done. That's what makes this Celtics team great because they can win without Tatum. They can win without Brown. They can win without Porzingis. They can win without Holiday because everyone's a star in the team. This is a very special team. This is like one of the great Heat Big Three teams rolling through the playoffs.
I'm with you there. All right, what do you got going on the Sentinel so folks can check you out?
Well, I turned things around. Today was supposed to be a day for a lottery draft tiebreaker for the Heat, or a draft placement tiebreaker. But since they made the playoffs, which I don't know if it's a good thing, they wound up at number 15 instead. So I looked and said, no, I know there's a bunch of people who are saying they should have missed the playoffs. Here's the deal, Big O. If the Heat lost to Chicago, they could have been drafting as high as number 12 this year. But we both know the Heat are never going to play that game. They're going to play to win. So I listed the Heat fell, what tiebreakers might have happened had they won one more game or lost one more game, and what comes next, because the draft lottery is 2 weeks away. There'll be spectators, and I think they're glad for that because they like the playoff experience. Like you and I just mentioned, I think it's very good for Jaquez and Jovic to get these games to see what it's like. And then I'm going to write later about the Caleb Martin play, and just the fact that Drew Holiday shove. And look, let's have some fun. There's 2 off days. I get all of that. It's not how Ira coaches. It's not how Caleb plays. And if Boston wants to get themselves up in arms over the Heat, hey, power to you, Boston fan.
He was a little out of control, and Drew took it.
He always is. But Caleb Martin also was always out of control. It's what makes him Caleb Martin. Caleb Martin, I will say this. Caleb Martin might have created a dangerous play, but it was not an intentional play. There's a difference, because when it comes to flagrant foul 2, intent is also part of the categorization.
The screwed up part about Caleb Martin is he's kind of an injury-prone guy, and yet that still doesn't stop him from throwing his body anywhere.
Right. He creates his own energy. You could say he's reckless, but he'll tell you he's just playing hard. The Heat needs some of that.
Oh, he plays super hard, but he plays a little too hard for the detriment of his body, bro.
Good point. Point well made.
It's like I still remember him ending up in the bench.
And that's and Big O, that's why if he seeks big money this offseason, I probably move on, because I don't want to live with the injury risk either. Let's face it, and we'll talk about this next week in our Accurate Pembroke Pines report.
When you mentioned Highsmith, I said, what?
I'm saying we'll talk about that. I think you're going to have to do either or, just because the money is so tight. I probably lead toward Haywood because he knows his role. He plays it well. He's making the threes. Right now, it looks a little bit like Caleb's three-point shot is broken also as well.
Yeah, no, and Highsmith is more of a stout player, bro. So I kind of like that with him. And again, more durable. And to me, you need more reliability, at this. All right, follow him on Twitter at Ira Heatbeat and catch his exceptional work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Ira, we'll catch up next week, my friend. Thank you.
Okay, hopefully my face isn't orange next time. Thank you, Big O.
All right, Donald. See you later.
Exactly.
There you go. Ira using the Trumpsters makeup. That is your Acura of Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat, and NBA report. Maybe Ira can run for president. I mean, that's kind of what it takes, right? Orange makeup, right? You look like an orangutan. You can run for president. The Spring into Performance sales event is going on right now, folks. We got 1.9% financing for 36 months. The 2024 Integra, the 2024 RDX, the 2024 MDX is there. The Integra, $299 a month. The RDX $419, the MDX $489. And again, they've got a fleet of certified pre-owned vehicles. You got to check them out. A large selection, baby. New or pre-owned. You can walk around, pick the car you want, the color you want, the style you want, the model you want, but more importantly, the price you want. At Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.